I know the New Zealand, but the spread's been low, but I missed my target on that one. So I'm just going to bring this down. And so there's been some odd fills. Let's see. I'm going to go down to the euro pound. And that's the other thing over on IG as I'm going through and placing orders and things. And I just want to see how they behave. Because if I'm going to open up an account, that it'll be worth my time. And so this one.
Have you tried Oanda?
Which one's that?
Oanda up in Canada?
Yeah, I looked at them. I didn't like them a couple of years ago. They looked fine. I mean, not bad or anything, but I didn't like the charting.
Uh-huh. Well, it's
So
all the same. That's all TVC. So
yeah. All right. So this one triggered and moved down nicely. CAD Swiss. Let's see how old that one is. Been just a range bound market here. It triggered it. We'll see if it does anything. I'm going to bring my stop down. If that's not the pivot, it needs to be closed out sooner. And let's see here. This was Aussie Swiss. And that looked like that one didn't last a second. That one actually looks legitimate. So I had a sell order pending. It picked it up. It pulled into the trade about 28 pips and then reversed. Let's look at it down here. About 29. And then there would have been, if I'd been around, I would have seen the reversal candle and stopped it. But the outside edges are nice. You just have to check the signal. And I don't know what's going on with any of these things. That was on the 27th. Can't even see anything. So must be some sort of an error. Anyway, those are the ones that I put on that we were kind of been watching and working with. And then the other is Matt from Larkin doing the same thing, but he uses moving averages and the Fibonacci to look for his areas. And then the thing that I was looking at starting this weekend was, let's see here, looking for setups where you would call a move out on the 2-hour chart. This will be the 4-hour. This will be the 1-hour. So if you see a pivot like here, we moved up to here on the euro pound and hit that level. That would have been a sell. Then we were looking for the pivot if you didn't take it. So the pivot didn't happen. So it closed below. So there would have been an extra sell. So it was just going through, if you're in front of your computer and you see a signal like this wick here that shot up into above the line, then collapsed back down, that would have been a sell. There's nothing much going on, but it's still heading in the right direction. Aussie Swiss, apex candle there. We didn't get the apex candle here, so now I'm right on the line. It would have been a sell, but it hasn't moved anywhere. So now as I look at it, I've got 3 or 4 hours of this and then 3 hours here. So this could be a possible sell stop with the exit if it hits the line and then a move down. Just the ways to increase your activity, or if you see something and you want to share it. Apex candle here on the Aussie New Zealand shot above the line. Yeah, it held, but the warning signs where we were getting higher highs and lower lows. And typically for me, that just is step away from it. If you didn't get into this one or get out of it, then the sell would have been here.
Rex, where do you want us to share it?
So I was just going to, if you take a screenshot and stick it over on Group Me, that'll be something that people can see.
And just get lost in the dust.
Does it get lost?
Well, yeah, you got 100 posts or 50 posts. You know, nobody scrolls through all of them and reads all of them, except dumb folks like me.
Is there a way to, well, then we should say this is unauthorized posting. I'm just teasing, but is there another way to send out alerts that's only for
Put a
setups?
spot on your website,
Yeah, that would work, or a group email.
and then we could just say on Group Me, go check out Rex's, or we could put it in Group Me and your website, and that way when people go, oh, what was that call out?
Okay, let me check on Group Me. I have a meeting with the web people on this Wednesday about posting video clips, how-tos and things onto the site.
Or Red
and-
Well,
Jelly
if somebody,
people?
if you ask them, if we post a clip, say, to your Rumble website or one of those websites, if then a notice can be sent out to the members.
Okay, yeah, there's
That way we can't miss looking for it.
yeah, I know it's nuts. I get into this and I go, my gosh, I don't have time for doing anything. But and I got an email from Rumble today that said you've passed a milestone, 16 followers. You're in a Rumble battle tomorrow. We'll be letting you know. And I'm going, what in the world does that mean? So always something. So I find a way to get these out because Group Me has a lot of other activities. So and it's just so that if you see something and you want to share it, it allows it to get out there pretty quickly and people can take advantage of it.
And I've just made a brand new YouTube channel. So
Did you?
Vicky Hawes.
And that's where you're putting your recordings?
Yeah, I put it in Group Me, but it's off of YouTube because that's the only place that it would upload properly.
Well, cool. Yeah, I had some sort of codec thing. Coding is driving me nuts over the weekend. Now, these 3 wicks here on the Swiss yen, I know there's news coming up and stuff, but the first 2 are neutralized to me, but then we get one and another one. So to me, that's if I'm going to take this trade, I've got a wedge, or a break to the flat side, so a buy stop. Now, how big the trade is, if I can get it to count it, 30 pips is more than a person needs if you're taking the Sean challenge where you're trying to put in a little bit bigger position, take your target and leave. So there would have been a different one. Aussie, Euro Aussie here. In between, there was 2 wicks here. We got 2 wicks up there, so they're neutralizing for me. So, and a lot of wicks through this, but once it broke, there would have been a buy for a trade. And we don't want to be in these forever. There's 25. If on this time frame 25 pips is the golden rule, that might what we need to do. And that way, we were talking, Karen, before, less position management. It hits the target or it doesn't. Okay, go ahead, Ed. No.
Back when Alan Gold was teaching his, I forgot what the name of it was, Gold Method. Of course, it was always in the London session, but of all the GBP pairs, his max stop loss was 40 pips. And then when Steve did his, what do you call it, notification thing, he did all kinds of experiments. So did I, for that matter. And we both discovered that our max loss at that time was still 40 pips, almost no matter what we traded, for an ideal range, if you would. Now, I don't know if that's changed a little. That was 2 or 3 years ago.
So makes sense.
But we also limited well, Alan didn't, but I did on my longer term trades. I limited it because there was so much diversion between the Asian, German, and London session. I limited my trades to 25, most of them to 25 pips, and some of them to 50 pips, if it looked real good, just so that he didn't run into the reversals.
Right. Okay.
That's
So
all.
no, that's all we're saying. If you have a style of trading and there's a way that you happen to catch it, we have folks here from New Zealand and Australia and Spain and France. If they're in front of their computer and they see something and they want to send it out, we can take advantage of that.
Greater own Robin Hood.
Yeah.
It occurred to me, Rex, that maybe if you could send me your copy or a picture of your disclaimer, I could use it as a thumbnail on the videos.
Okay.
Because I didn't think about it, but it is a public. I made it public. Unless
Okay.
you mean make it private. I can do that too.
I'm just learning what the difference is as far as over on Rumble, because I've never been on. I mean, I know what YouTube is. That's how been working on my old Ford, but trading, I haven't looked at it on anything. So kind of have to defer to everybody else's experience.
Yeah, I doubt I'm going to get any followers. But, just in case. It's always good to have a disclaimer.
Yep. So this pivot here on the 1 hour, here it is on the 4 hour. It hit it and reversed real nicely. So I know a lot of people are familiar with some of these pairs, but if you see it, you can have some real nice setups. Now the Euro Yen with its crazy candles, with its news and interest rates coming up. So temporarily, I've just kind of staying away from the yen, just because there's a candle that makes no sense. Got a ways to wait. Now here it did come off, hit the trend line, and then there would have been the buy. It moved up to here where we marked, where the target would have been under it, and then that's that. Euro US gave us 2 pivots. There's the third pivot. There's the apex candle on the 4 hour. So you had to wait. If you even on an hour, it moved quite a bit. But if you're taking that apex candle, it moved up pretty comfortably. And some pairs just don't make sense, so we stay away from them. But the pound Aussie, let's see here. Whenever those lines hit, trying to take a trade out of them. Pound Canadian. This is the one I put the buy on or the sell on. I can't even remember. Turned around, took me out, and then went back in the direction. So that was where my stop wasn't big enough. Here we're at the top of this channel over here and against resistance over here. And it's slowly turned. I prefer them to happen sooner, move quicker, but that's not always the case. Again, a yen pair. Is their economy in the yen in that much trouble?
Well, I think that the inflation there from the weakness of the yen is so high that they're trying to cap it at, like when the US yen gets above, has it been above 150 yet, Ed? Between 145 and 150 is where they're like getting scared.
It hit 149 just a little while ago,
All right.
but
Well,
backed off.
then I think we can expect another move down again.
Yeah.
Once it hits that ceiling, it's like, oh no, can't go any higher than that.
Well, I don't know if that's on the US JPY. There's still, geez, let me measure this. There's still 100 pips to hit this morning's high, going, bullish. And there's an equal amount, actually 125 going south. So we're right in the middle, 50-50 zone.
Well, their news is in an hour, so
Take your pick. Well, I think the news will be, an hour, maybe two. But usually there's a talking head that juts in there real quick. Then they have their announcements. Then they have the real talking head at midnight.
do they live stream these things?
I don't know. I'm not usually up. That's my snoozing cruising hours. A lot of times I'll leave my trades on for that in the sand. I don't like to trade the yen. I just do it in a sandbox for fun. My day trades are what I trade for seriousness.
Oh, looking
My
at the
night
yen
trades keep
there,
my,
it's like bouncing off the trend line coming down. It looks like it could have a good drop.
yeah, but I don't think it's going to be right now. I closed out most of my sales. I guess I still have 20 on or so. And then actually I'm short a lot of pips, so not too much return. Because I tried to ride that wave up, and that was not a good thing. It's never a good thing. Someday I might actually learn my lesson. And I have a lot of buys on right now, another 30 buys or so, which was at the exact wrong time, right when it pivoted.
Are they in profit?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, this would be a good time to get out if they're in profit.
They might be in a half hour. You never know what the end is going to do. That's the problem with it. And tonight he got in that outside range and just wouldn't quit. Of course, that's what outside ranges do, but and actually today I did real well at recycling my trades, but tonight I seem to have forgotten that lesson.
Didn't have your bungee cord ready, huh?
I guess I had it ready this morning. I posted the trade. I made 0.87, 0.85, I lost them both, and then came back and made 1%. So it was quite an arduous morning. And I still had a doctor's appointment in the middle there. So
This is IG here.
Interesting.
So on the daily, let's see, we got to find the different drawing tools.
Oh, and you already have all your pairs open up all along the top there in little tabs.
Yeah, then I accidentally drag them out of alphabetical order, and then I get to start all over. The tough things for us challenged people. So this pivot over here on the left, that's what I'm looking for here in the pound Canadian. That may be the reversal there, but it is awfully slow to get started.
Is it pound Canadian or the Aussie CAD?
Aussie CAD, sorry, reading one and saying the other. And if it gives me some move, let's see now the drawing tool. Yeah, it looks like about 90 pips. Kind of hard to read there, but if it turns and goes, that's a one there that may. Now I'm only looking for smaller targets. Then I got to find out where the alphabet starts. So we had a double bottom on the weekly. There's a double bottom on the 4 hour. So there would have been a turn there. And then once we put in this one, there could have been a buy there. So here would have been one where you'd say, hey, I got this little box trade here, 3 spinning tops. It picks that direction. That's the buy. That's a call out trade. Doesn't mean it goes very far, but let's measure it. So the risk backwards was 28 pips. To there is 54. And it made to 54 and a little bit more than it paused. But that's all I'm looking for. There's another one here. 3 again, and then not a big trade. Let's find the drawing tool.
That's one thing I miss about Alveo is the persistent drawing tools.
Yeah.
Go find it and grab it again if you want to use it twice.
Yeah, I agree. And there's 28 there. So, if you have a couple pairs that you like to follow and you want to get comfortable with them, and they've got clean charts, when they get crazy, let's find a yen pair. And there's nothing wrong with this other than some of these wicks will lay you to waste. And here, what may be coming up now, the euro yen may not be as bad, but there's a couple here that if your stop's in place, you should be safe, but there are other times where it goes right through it. So I just go through and it doesn't matter what instrument it is, as long as it's affordable and there's enough participation to get in and get out. Here on the Aussie New Zealand, the move has already taken place. It's a new move here after top, so it may be getting tired. Wouldn't necessarily be the one I'd want to run to. I want to get in on the newer moves. Aussie US is up at a turn level based on the structure. 4 hour here, I need to get a close so it can be a breakout sell. Now, Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim, they do have Forex, but it's futures. It's not the spot. You still here, Debbie? So it's a little bit different cost structure and things. Instead of trading a straight currency pair, you're trading a future on it. So it's a little bit different of an instrument. All righty.
So is that why Sam was having troubles with his stops? His stop loss staying there after he closed a trade and having it trigger?
You've got to close even here, you've got to close the other order.
Got to close both sides.
Yeah.
All right. So your stop loss is like an opposite trade.
Right. So if I put on a target and a trade and it hits my target, I've got to go back and close off my stop. Or it'll pick it up and go the other direction.
Yeah.
It'll actually truly hedge. So you've got both orders open and you have to close both orders.
Yeah. So.
And this is in the US?
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
the hedging limit doesn't apply to futures, huh?
it's
No.
just that when you put on one order, it puts on the other for protection.
right.
Yeah, and so you've got to close your stop.
The orders aren't paired. It creates two separate orders, so they don't, there used to be on Schwab's platform, at least, one closes the other. You could choose that, but that
Yeah.
went away. I don't think it's available in Sink or Swim. And
Did
I
you
have,
just call it sink or swim?
yeah, I did. Freudian slip. But I think that IG also does that. At least in playing with it, it looks like it does it. So Rex, will you let us know what you think of IG?
I will. So I just put on an order here. So let's say it went up and hit my target. Over here in my positions, I would still end up with, I'd have to close my stop because the stop wasn't triggered. So that's just, Sam, it hit his target. Great. He didn't know, like a lot of people, we don't know. Too many platforms. You got to turn around and close this protective stop because it is a sell order.
Okay,
Right.
now do they make it easy, like you can click on it and go X? Or do you have
Yeah.
to go to another pane?
Nope. It's just
Okay.
right there. I can close it there,
Post
or
X, okay,
I can kill the order here, close the order. I can get rid of my target, get rid of my stop. And so if this one hits target, I can close this off here.
okay.
Yep. And so you just watch it. Now I have paid interest. It's interesting. I've held some things overnight over the banking hour night. It's not just me 5 p.m. or 3 p.m. So anytime there's a bank close, if you're holding a pair and your interest rate is lower than theirs or whatever, you owe the interest. So I've had some trades here where, I've, was on after midnight and I ended up paying $25, $30 in interest charge. Haven't done it the other way around yet where they pay me, but
Is it swap?
the swap you do pay.
Yeah, I've always had to pay. I've never been in the right direction.
So, in Alveo, this is all taken care of, but
Well, I imagine if the broker comes along, that's gonna be one of the things that we're gonna have to do. There's gonna be commission
right.
I'm not so sure about
swap.
that
And
because of
we'll have to
the,
deal with FIFO and first, no hedging. Not that I hedge much anyway.
I'm not so sure about that. It depends on what Sean does on the back end of his servers. Because of the bell curve for the overall funded traders, and I guess the non-funded traders also, but the bell curve for the funded traders is pretty even to stay ahead of the S&P. So it's a little on the plus side, but the trades overall are pretty even. Sean has said that several times. 50% of the people will be bullish, and the other 50% of the people will be bearish. But on the back end, if he sorts the trades out, so they go to the broker in the right order, it won't make a heap of difference.
Well, that's part of the problem, is that him having control of the back end, it's supposed to go to the broker and they have control of the back end. And they're in
But-
the US, so we have to deal with FIFO, no hedging, and swap and commissions.
A lot of things to pay attention to. I definitely would prefer if he makes it a hedge account. That would be my preference.
I can deal with brokers and first in, first out and that sort of thing. I cannot deal with state licensing. I prefer to be an independent trader.
Tell them
don't-
you identify as an independent trader.
I can't deal with FIFO, not with scalping.
Yeah, yeah, you're at the mercy there. There's just no way around it now.
Well,
Uh,
different lot sizes for every trade, and then it doesn't apply.
Right.
You just 0.01 difference, and if you go on Oanda, I don't know if he'll go on Oanda, or whoever the broker is will offer those. What is it, mini, micro?
Yeah, you have to get down to the micro level.
Yeah, and then you just add 0.001 more to each trade as you make it. You know, it's like one extra click to add a little micro lot on there. And it doesn't apply because it's different lot sizes.
Maybe they
Now,
could build it, maybe they could build it into the one-click trading option.
So I have 5 lots on here, right? Just because of the balances at 50,000. So if I add another one with 2 lots, it's going to add them together and average out the entry price.
Could you say that again?
So I have the first order I put in was 5 lots, right? 5 contracts.
Okay.
Okay, so that's orders on the books. Now, if I switch it down, drop it down to 2 contracts for the next order, it's going to average the price and call it 7 contracts.
Oh, that's interesting.
So let's buy. So it's first in, first out, but with an average smoothing of it's smoothing, right? Dollar cost averaging. So I'm down to 7 here. So if I go to positions, you put them all together, it automatically does the average cost.
Can
So
you take off a portion of them?
I don't close all.
Or modify and close
Ooh.
half?
Let me see. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm clicking button. Margin returned. That's going to give me a headache. I'm going to have to
That's
think on that.
confusing. Yes. I don't think
Yeah.
I like their platform personally.
So, well, it's just that the laws. It's based on the law. So, anybody else been familiar with dollar cost averaging on your entries? You know, stocks and things.
Yeah,
Pardon me?
stocks that any time. I mean, when you go to Schwab and you've got in multiple orders, it's going to give you your average break even. Now, it does allow you, Schwab used to allow, but they changed it where you could select what you were doing. Say, okay, I want to close this order, but it doesn't allow you to do that anymore. So it gives you the average, the break-even average, but you can't
Right.
say, I want to sell this, which is the way I manage that is that I trade them all in options, and that way I can close the option date that I want to close.
Ah, okay.
So you go and you say, okay, I want this one to be, Friday of this week and this one to be Friday of next week, and then I can close them separately. And that allows you to layer.
Right. So here, if I was layering, I would plan out my total positions, and then I would say how many positions in here, positions in here, position in here, knowing that my dart's going to hit in the middle on the average entry price.
Right.
And that's the way I'm going to try to get back to profit before I get back to my first entry. So may have to put a couple more lots or position sizes here to make sure that I'm getting back to profit before I get to my first one. So it's just that balancing. There's a way around it, but it's, scalping's not going to happen. That's for sure. But you can leg in, leg out. You can average in, average out, but they just don't want people trading. So,
Have you considered buying a cottage in a friendly country just for vacation time? And then you will have an address.
so it would have to be in the Caribbean, right?
Well, yeah, it has to be somewhere warm. I hear
Somewhere
the Canary
warm.
Islands are nice.
So
Well, that could be a group venture. We all own a piece.
Well, do we know
Tenerife,
anybody that has a cell?
my uncle from England was very fond of Tenerife. Now, I'm not sure what country that belongs to, but he always went there on vacation.
So I know Sean's offshore, so. Yeah, world of difference if you have a post office box or something and you open an account, so.
So are we all gonna have a co-op vacation property in a friendly island somewhere?
Works for me.
Me too. Long as my
Make
dues
our
are
own
not over.
timeshare overseas. Mauritius, I heard, is very friendly. Handtech markets that used to be located in London, and I had a demo account there. I was gonna fund it before they decided they weren't gonna fund Americans anymore. And I used to follow somebody, Richard Perry, used to do the seminars there, and he was very good. But they moved their main headquarters from London to Mauritius, which I had to look up. It's a very pretty little island, but evidently it's very friendly financially. So they moved their headquarters there.
So anybody else have anything they got going on?
I'm still in my UJ trade.
Yep, please.
Well, that's what happened. I guess they got one lot open, and right now it's all green, which is change of pace from previous. I switched my direction after closing out about 800 pips negatively.
I'm just working on doing this week's challenge.
My pound trade is almost there.
I'm waiting for the news.
I'm in Aussie CAD and US CAD, but they're not going nowhere.
On Alan's overnight trades, he eliminated anything with CHF in it because it wasn't moving enough. And he found out it was actually costing him more money to keep the pair in than keep the pair out.
All righty. What do you folks think about calling out trades if there's setups based on the 4 and the 1 hour? Is that something we should work towards, or is it of interest?
No, I think it'd be cool.
Just got to find a way so it doesn't get lost in Group Me.
Yeah, Group Me just has way too much chatter. You either have to have it open all the time and be watching it all the time, or it's almost impossible to find what you're looking for.
Well, maybe we can have another section in Group Me for call-outs. Just call it a call-out group, and we won't chat there.
Yeah, let me look into that and see. All righty, I'm going to skedaddle here.
Are you doing a class tonight?
No. So I did it this morning at 9. So Monday and Thursdays, I do it after the trading rooms. And then from 7 to 8, 8:30, whatever it is, Monday through Thursday, we meet like this.
I just thought I saw you on Trader on the Street. No, it's 9 a.m. You're right. Okay.
Can you flash your disclaimer? I didn't realize I was muted when I said that.
Yep.
So that way I can pick it out of the video and put it as a thumbnail.
I'll just email it to you if that's all right.
Okay, that works too.
Woo-wee.
All right.
I just made almost a whole percent back. Woo-wee.
All righty, everyone. Thanks.
Rex.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Right.
Rex.
Night all.
Night.